Hey, what's going on, everybody? So let's start with number one, rhythm difficulties. We all have them. Break it down, clap and count. I know that sounds simple, but yet it's not that much fun. But isolating the problem areas, clapping and counting, and definitely pencil in the count. So welcome, I'm Jim, and we're going to talk about rhythm and the struggles that we have, and I'm going to give some concepts that I have learned as a teacher for over 30 years, where I've observed many learners struggling with similar concepts, but adding some of these skills will help you get better foundation work when it comes to understanding rhythm and beat. So again, number one, clap and count. But if you're working on a hard piece, maybe your teacher or your teachers you've had or someone else on YouTube might say isolate and slow it down. And when you isolate, you might have to simplify, ease off the fingerings, ease off of everything, just play just one pitch on the piano. So that's similar to clapping and counting, but we're going to slowly add the pitches in a little by little. That helps with some learners where you just forgo everything, and in this case, just focus on the rhythm. All right, got my little reminder sheet here. So number three, coordination work. So we'll just jump to the piano real quick. If we think about in the treble clef, I'm going to play this C, okay, and then it doesn't matter any pitch really, but and then this C down here. So my bass for now is the quarter note. So you can practice 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That can be really helpful. Hey, could you hit the like button? It helps out, thanks. If you are doing that, just do it a little bit during your practice, either the beginning or near the end, and then circle like, okay, I'm still having a hard time with this. If you're having a hard time with the coordination, then what you want to do is just see if you can understand what lines up with what with the subdivision. If you get the coordination down, that means you are really ensuring yourself to get the right beats at the right time and understanding how the beats line up with the rhythm, right? Because we know that rhythm is long and short sounds more or less, and a beat is a steady pulse, like a heartbeat. All right, so we are at number 4, cruising here. All right, so I don't know how well you can see this, but here, I'm gonna turn it on. This could be embarrassing if it doesn't go on, but it will. All right, here we go. All right, so metronome, hate-love relationship, I get it. Hey, listen, the reason we don't like the metronome is it catches our faults, and if we don't understand it, then it's going to be a hard time. I've had many adult students where they go, I used to use the metronome, but it just pisses me off, or it just frustrates me and I can't do anything right. So you have to learn how to use this, and starting with the metronome, it's a guide, it's a pacer, it will help you. But start off really simple. Just think about 100 beats per minute, just have it click and just play a scale to it. You have to get used to it. You have to slowly integrate it in your practice. And then you're going to be at a point where I'm not going to use the metronome because now I'm always depending on it. But that we'll talk at another time. Give it a shot. You can download them free on the phone. Personally, I like the old school. You just have them, because sometimes when my phone's on, I can get distracted and all that, but whatever works. The metronome is there to help you. When a learner says, oh, I hate it, it just messes me up, you're going to run into problems down the road. You're going to wonder why your music isn't flowing. You're going to wonder why you cannot get certain skills down, and it's because of the accountability of the metronome. And this almost fell out of my hands. All right, so number 5. All right, this isn't a fun one. But it's an evaluation tool. Record yourself. Again, if you have a phone, you can record yourself. It doesn't have to be a great recording, but when you record yourself, you'll play it back and go, wow, that was steadier than I thought, or geez, I'm not lining up at all. Because what's great about music, there's so many multiples of intelligence. We are coordinating from fingerings, the pitches, what we're doing on the score, or even by the ear, and then the rhythm and the beat, and then, oh my gosh, pedaling, really? So if you break it down and record yourself, it can really give you a snapshot or a mirror image on what you're doing and how you're doing it, and then it can help you save time. You listen to this recording, like, oh, that I have down, so now I just need to focus on measures X through Y, for instance. So don't be afraid on how you sound. Don't beat yourself up. It's an evaluation tool. All right, we are at number 5. No, we just did 5. All right, number 6 is a fun one, and that is simply listen. Go to YouTube. Listen to all styles of music. Listen to music where there's different feels to it, like Afro-Cuban music. Listen to waltzes. Listen to orchestra music. Listen to anything you like and see if you can detect the beats and see if you can detect the phrasing or the meter you're in. The other one is if you're going to listen to maybe a pianist and it's really in depth and fast, that's great as long as you feel like you can understand what's happening in regards to phrasing, meter, time signature, and beat. But some learners, sometimes when they listen to something, they go, oh man, why can't I sound this good? Don't go down that road. Don't worry about that. Try to listen to see how other musicians are internalizing. So that brings me to a real quick story. Any jazz fans listening, there was this wonderful jazz vibraphonist I got to hear when I lived in Los Angeles. And his name is Bobby Hutcherson. And I was sitting in the bars right there. So if you don't know what a vibraphone is, you can Google it. But it's like a giant piano, but you use mallets. The reason I bring this up right now because his sense of time was impeccable. It was absolutely crazy. So many amazing musicians. But what I notice is how innate it was, and I think because of the talent, but also because of the musicality of just singing and feeling the music as well as experience. But it was so motivating. It really taught me a different way on how to listen and feel music. All right, so number 7 is definitely play easy music. The challenge with piano is there's so many notes, so many fingerings, there's so much going on. You got to dial it back. It is more than acceptable. In fact, it's very musically mature to play easier music. Maybe some of us think when you graduate out of book 1, you never come back to it. No, there's so many other skills that you can do. And in this case, play a piece that you know really well, but record yourself. And that goes into number 8. So 7 and 8 are similar. 8 is internalizing the music, knowing how to internalize it. So a lot of us are external learners, but in music, it's about being an internal learner. Understand the accountability. You create the beat. You create the feel. Do you understand not only how our hands are lining up, but how things are flowing, how the melody works, how the harmony works? Do you feel the anticipation of chords? Are you listening to an example of a piece, song, whatever you're doing? That's really important. So going back to the easy music, when you're playing something that's simple, really drive the beat, really internalize it. And I plan to do some sight reading on this channel soon, and we'll be talking about that. And when you really start accountability on just playing real basic, super basic, but getting a flow, your world will open up and you will become very musical. All right, so we are kind of talking about 7 and 8, but number 9, guess what? Rinse and repeat. That's right. When you go through concepts, everyone's a little different, but when you go through concepts, think about what you could improve on and how you can improve it. So some students would benefit from the coordination work, the left hand playing the beat, the right hand doing the rhythms, but then also switching it, the right hand doing the beat and the left hand doing the rhythms. That could be beneficial, especially if you want to get more into reading. Another one that could benefit you is be accountable and write in the counts. So many times when I'm teaching, and I remember this real quick story, we're working on a tune, Fly Me to the Moon, jazz standard, Frank Sinatra. It's pretty syncopated, and the student had the notes, they had the fingerings, but when I said clap the rhythms from that 8th rest to the dotted quarter note, it was really hard for them. And what was hard is they weren't able to clap it and count it because they weren't aware on where the subdivisions were, which is normal. They weren't aware on how the beats line up. So again, as I said in the beginning of the video, it's like musical insurance. If you can understand the subdivision and how it lines up, you're going to be good to go. And I do think that's one thing maybe certain apps don't teach you because it will just give you an incorrect sound because you're waiting to be told. So if you can dig deeper and learn how to internalize, you are in good shape. And as I said in one of my other videos, if you enjoy the process, you will enjoy making music and you'll get much better at it. In this video here, I talk about that. And if you don't have time to watch the whole video, at least read the comments, because I am so amazed on such great comments and great advice. One person did say sometimes shortcuts are better. The key word is sometimes. If that's going to give you a little motivation, as long as you create ownership, as long as you know that you got to go back to do some work. All right, so I have some other tips down the road, but if you like my video, I forgot to mention this, please like it, because I get to meet other awesome people like you. Please take care. I wish everyone well. Bye-bye.